Welcome to episode 2 of American Fragrance Fridays, where we take a look at some of the best fragrance companies that are right here in the good old US of A. And this week, we have Polysnifferous. Let's rock. Now, Polysnifferous was founded by Jamie and Noah, and they make some fantastic fragrances and some of my absolute favorites. Now, this is going to be a rather long video, but I recommend you stay till the end. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Now, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Jamie and Noah the other night, and they answered a few of my questions, and I'm going to share it with you now. So hold tight, let's go.
Great questions. When did we start? Well, I remember it was actually almost exactly 2 years ago that I first purchased some materials and equipment. And my intention was absolutely not to start a house. I just wanted to tinker and play and experiment. What was the turning point? Well, the brief history is the first thing I ever made is Aventish, which I think is your favorite, you've said. Yeah, and so the story there is I was just using a formula for Aventus, playing around, using it as a learning opportunity, and then just decided to take it in my own direction, adding a whole bunch of this, that, and the other thing, turning up certain notes. And it turned into something that I said, oh, this is really, I think I've got something here. And I just sent it out to a few friends without telling them what it was. I just said, hey, I'm going to send you some free samples. And they were like, damn, this is amazing. What is this? And I went, okay, maybe I'm onto something here. And I guess it was that was probably a year into it. So that was, I guess, late 2024. So it was really, now I do remember, first real sales began in December of 2024. It was just Aventish. That was it. All I sold were 10 mLs. With a little, literally the first ones were Jamie's handwriting on a little label,
That was bad. I mean, I have good handwriting, but it wasn't very attractive.
And did that for several months, and just slowly started catching on. And I was continuing to play with materials and different formulas. And the next thing that was born was Aventish Red. And when did we decide, boy, this is a thing, we should take it seriously and bottle this stuff and get labels and all of that? It wasn't that long ago.
No,
it was spring.
It was early. Yeah, it was maybe February. I don't know, something like that. It feels like ages ago. I'm actually shocked that I don't think it was. I know it was over the summer in 2024 that you were sending out those Aventishes.
Oh, was that early?
Yeah.
Okay. You're right.
Because Mia helped bottle them, and she had to have been here to help with that. So he's not quite right with the timeline. But anyways.
Okay. But I do know that Polysnifferous was born in 2025, earlier this year, probably sometime around February.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it was just Aventish and Aventish Red.
And Cherry
Smoke Intense.
Yep, and Amber.
Oh, the Amber too. That's why she's here, because otherwise, what am I even saying?
And then we launched Aventish Blue and Aventish Pink over the summer.
That's right. Yeah. So that was kind of how it started. What was part two? I was. This sounds cheesy, and I feel like I'm sort of co-opting really acclaimed artists and creators by saying something like this, but there was no why. It just happened. I mean, it sounds cheesy as hell, but that's literally how I feel about this. There was no plan.
Well,
I have no idea how we got where we are.
There's a little bit of a cool why.
Okay.
And the cool why is you were smelling these fragrances. You were like, I don't really like this, but everyone loves Aventus. How can I tweak this formula to make it smell like something I would actually want to wear?
Sure, I guess that's true.
So every fragrance has a cool little story as to how it got born.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is actually crowdsourcing. So him on Alive, just playing with materials, and people saying, well, what if you took Aventus and made it more green, or made it smell like a fall version of Aventus?
Yep. Many of my creations have been that. Absolutely. That's what blue was for sure. I had no plans on doing a blue. somebody said, "Hey, could you do that?" And I said, "Well, I think I could do that."
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have like there was no master plan. You know what I mean? At no point did I sit down and think I would like to be a perfumer and start a perfume house. That never happened.
Well,
It's just kind of happened. Um, as far as where we want to go from here, um, you know, I know where I want to go. Jamie kind of is a little bit back and forth on, you know,
well, I
this
like what I do in my regular job.
yeah, she loves her regular everyday job. We both do the same thing. You know, we're in physical and emotional mental health care. I love my job too, but this is where my passion is. I definitely want this to be my main thing. You know, I want this to be my quote unquote full time job. I will probably continue to do some clinic hours because I do love that work, and there, you know, people need help. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would love for this for Polysnifferous to get stabilized where we have some sort of like logistical plan, and I mean, we are flying by the seat of our pants in terms of production and what comes up next and all of that. It's a huge learning curve. I'd love to stabilize this. We have both talked about wanting to do a more formal house, another house, you know, another label.
I want it to be formal.
Okay.
I like the
she really,
for the people vibe.
Yeah, she really well. Polysniffers will always be there, but you know, I've thought about doing like, you know, I'll mention somebody like my friend Chris Martin, who I think you know, Static Olfactive. Right, wonderful creative director working with other perfumers. I want to have my hands in some of that where I'm not the one having to create every single fragrance that's released. You know, it's not on my timeline where we can have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different great indie perfumers working on stuff, and maybe have a separate line for it. Maybe the new house is all collaborations, like I did with Natish Dixit for Gentlemen. But we want to solidify Polysnifferous, be able to scale up because you may have heard that we're going to be in House of Dubai. So, you know, which is an amazing opportunity. But, you know, right now, everything that we make, we sell. So it all sells out and we keep 100% of the profits, right? When you go into retail, you're splitting conventionally 50-50 with the retailer, right? So unless I can scale up, it's actually a net loss for us. It's great for long-term business, bad for short-term profits, right? So we got to figure out how to scale up, whether that means having some pieces of the formulas blended off-site, probably not. I think I'll continue to do the blending. If we can have somebody do all of the bottling and labeling and shipping, that would be a lifesaver. And then working on whatever is next in terms of like a more formal house, I think is what we want to do. And TikTok's part of our plan as well.
Yeah.
We love the community. You know, we want to stay deeply involved in TikTok. You know, we've never really called ourselves influencers. I don't know what term is most appropriate, but we want to be heavily involved. You know, I want the free trips to Dubai, man. That's really what it's about. Yes, why we're all here, totally. When do I get on that Cal Cologne cruise? That's what I want, man.
So a huge thank you to Jamie and Noah for participating. Guys, I really appreciate it. For those of you out there, you can check them out at polysnifferous.com. They have some absolutely wonderful stuff. They're great people, great company. Let's support these American brands. Now, as always, if you have a favorite American fragrance company you'd like to see featured in one of these episodes, please tag them down below in the comments. We'll see you next Friday. Well, it's been said that Polysnifferous is for the people. So I say, let's give the people Polysnifferous. It's giveaway time. So kudos to you if you stayed for the whole video. So here's how you enter. Make sure you're following me, make sure you're following Polysnifferous, and that you live in the US. Comment down below your favorite American fragrance or fragrance house, or favorite American anything for that matter. And we'll announce the winner of the giveaway during episode 3 next Friday. And well, what is it you're gonna win? Well, it really depends on what Polysnifferous has in stock at the time. Now, for some reason, they're sold out of absolutely everything. With Noah's permission, I'll send you some samples from my own Polysnifferous collection. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next Friday.